Morning, Trainiacs. Last night, I had a hard time sleeping in a good way. I have an idea that I am crazy excited about, and I want all of you involved in it. And we are gonna talk about it while I am warming up on the bike for, I say about 90 minutes with a little bit of race pace effort in there, and 15 minutes over here. Let's do it. All right, so as we start coming out with Team Trainiac, with these with these ProTriathlonTraining.com masterclasses with all of the pros, and frankly, all of this started a year ago when I realized that everything that we're coming out with here on YouTube is kind of like just stream of consciousness, random thoughts that are idea, but there is no real system for people to suss out, all right, here's where I am, here's where I want to be, where am I in that journey, and what do I need to be working on? There's no system. So what I came up with last night that I've got the skeleton of that I want you involved with is the Triathlon Trainiac Training System. Pumped about this. Let me explain. So now the ProTriathlonTraining.com courses, they're a system for the individual courses. Team Trainiac, that's a system for all of your day-to-day training. But what I came up with was like a Trainiac lifetime journey of starting wherever you individually are and getting you to where you want to be. And it can be in conjunction with Team Trainiac, it can be in conjunction with ProTriathlonTraining.com, but frankly it can also be in conjunction with anyone that is doing self-coaching or using a templated plan or even using a coach. It all works for whoever you individually are. And this here's the process that I came up with. So back in December, we ended up doing a virtual triathlon camp where 45 athletes came in over the course of 3 weeks. We did a bunch of individual testing and then a lot of translating that into, all right, here's how you performed in those individual tests. Here is how you should move forward with some basics of proper triathlon training. And I think that that's a perfect place to start because all of the virtual camp athletes who are on Team Trainiac, they're making leaps and bounds of progress because they know exactly how to take Team Trainiac and start applying it to their individual system. So what I've got in mind here is that step one is setting a baseline, understanding where you are right now. Because we all know where we want to get to. We want to get to be the most badass athlete that we can get to. We want to get to Kona. We want to get to a world championship. We want to move up the podium in our local races. We want to improve, but we have to know where we're starting from and where the opportunities are for our individual training. Like I say, that can be used with your own self-coaching. That can be used with a coach that you're using one-on-one. That can be used with Team Trainiac. What I'm actually thinking is that that virtual camp is almost a requirement for joining Team Trainiac because like I say, those virtual camp athletes are making huge amounts of progress, and that progress is the goal for the athletes, me being the coach of Team Trainiac, and I want to set everyone up to make as much progress as possible. But you don't have to join Team Trainiac. And that's where you say, okay, I've got this baseline, where do I go next? And what I came up with is that you need to figure out the composition of your training. You don't want to just train for the sake of training. You want to do the right training so that whether you are doing 4 hours a week or 8 hours a week or 15 hours a week, you want to make sure that the training that you're doing is beneficial. You also then need to rest. It doesn't matter how good a training plan you have. If you don't have rest structured properly, you aren't going to make progress. Same with fueling. If you don't have fueling correct, you can get all the training right, you can get all the rest in the world. Frankly, you're gonna need a hell of a lot of rest if you're getting the fueling wrong, but you need to fuel your body before, during, and after workouts. And then your body needs to be physically able to receive that training. if you have mobility, impingement issues, all the training that you're doing is not going to actually be allowed to progress. And the analogy that I use is each one of these are a wheel on a car. You need to have all the wheels on a car turning at the same time efficiently to make progress going forward. So each one of these wheels is a key aspect of moving forward. Now, once people have the start of their baseline, where they're starting from, they can then move into this step where they start turning the wheels of the car. And what we'll make is a little mini course or a series of mini downloads where you'll see what good composed training looks like. A mini course that'll help you figure out your training schedule over the course of a year, over the course of a week, over the course of a taper process. The basics of an entire fueling course, race day, workouts, recovery, and throughout the day. And a basic mobility and function mini course as well. So what we're doing here is we're giving you the ability to figure out where you're starting and then move you along and start checking off the boxes of getting the basics right. And Matt Dixon, who's one of the best coaches in the world, even at the pro level, he says that just nailing the basics of nutrition, strength, training, rest, that's 95% of the progress that you're going to make. Once you've established that baseline and started establishing the foundation of training, then you start optimizing with things like heart rate, power, pacing, HRV, sleep, potentially training on low carbs, racing on high carbs, having fat, strength training. That's where we start upgrading the car to make it go faster. All of that is a little bit of a work in progress because, like I say, it was done over the course of an hour last night while watching TV and just kind of sketching out some notes. But what we need to do as athletes is we need to understand where we are, where we want to get to, and the process of how we do that, because there are so many articles, blog posts, YouTube videos, podcasts that all give a whole bunch of ideas. And if we don't understand how to work our way through it, we're just going to be spinning our wheels. Get the pun there? The wheels of triathlon training with the Trainiac system. Now, what I want your involvement with is there's going to be a link in the description below where I want you to go and fill out a form. And this is going to be a bit of an in-depth survey so that I can really nail down what your biggest challenges are. And in understanding what those challenges are better, by getting hundreds and hundreds of your comments, we're going to be able to customize all of those little mini courses and downloads in such a way that it is extremely beneficial because we're using your needs to create the solution. And that survey isn't just going to be a favor like, hey pals, can you do me a favor? Although it is a really big favor and I appreciate it if you did it. Everyone that fills out those surveys will A, be entered to win a free year of training on Team Trainiac if you choose to do that, and B, be given the ability to purchase any of those mini courses for half off. So even if you don't get a free year of training with Team Trainiac, or you don't want to use a free year of training with Team Trainiac, you can always go through a virtual training camp. You can pick and choose some of those mini courses and improve your training regardless of what your triathlon training setup is. So the link will be in the description below to go and fill out that survey. Regardless of what your triathlon training structure is, this is going to be massively beneficial to you. And even just filling out that survey, the questions that I ask there are going to be something that at least makes you think a little bit about why you train the way that you train. So even if you don't want to join Team Trainiac or you don't want to take part in any of those mini courses, filling out that survey is going to be beneficial in itself. All right, Trainiacs, I'm starting to hit some hills here on Zwift. I got to do a few intervals. Check out the link in the description below and stay tuned. I am into this system. Of course I am. I came up with it. Later.